2007, and you could name the governor's Pittsburgh healthcare reform hearings, but let's not do that.
Well, it's a long topic, but let's stick to today's topic. So, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Matt Funicello. I own Rock Hill Bakehouse, which is in Monroe, New York, and Rock Hill Cafe, which is in Glens Falls. We're a wholesale bread bakery. That's what I do for a living. I get up at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning, respectively, 6 days a week. And I work with a bunch of people who are very much members of the working class, a phrase we don't like to use much in the United States, but a phrase I would say a good 100 million of us are quite familiar with because we're in it. I would extend an invitation all the time to the middle class to join us because more expensive alarm clocks and a slightly higher mortgage does not make you a different class. You still work and you're still months away from being destitute just like the rest of us. So welcome. I would like to thank Senator Godfrey for the opportunity to speak today and share what I feel is a fairly unique perspective on perhaps one of the most important issues to the United States of America, next to peace. Peace and healthcare. These are huge for the state of mind of the citizenry and the country. And we are having a nightmare when it comes to both on a federal level. It seems likely that although many of us have attacked the issue of peace nationally, it might be easier to talk about healthcare and bring it down to the state level for a moment. So rather than verbatim read my testimony, which could be lengthy and might not lead to any interaction, I will summarize it for you. There are three uniquenesses from my perspective of single-payer healthcare. And one is which when I was 7 years old, my mother, who was divorced from my father, moved to Ottawa, Ontario. We actually spent time living in Montreal and several other places as well, but that's where we settled. So I spent my school years in Ottawa until I was 19 years old. During that time, I lived under a socialist system in medicine, and I later came to find out it was called single-payer healthcare. My mother, who was becoming a naturalized citizen in Canada, and many of my American friends and family, and she as well, have wondered why I didn't follow that same route, given the lack of healthcare we suffer here, amongst many other things. But I'm an American born and bred, and this is my geographic home, and I love it here, and that's why. But it doesn't mean that I can't recognize a superior system or process when I see one. The OHIP program, which was the Ontario Health Insurance Plan, is the provincial umbrella that is part of the Medicare for All system that covers Canada. And OHIP, I would estimate, on an anecdotal level, is about 16 times better than anything I've ever suffered under here, or watched my family and friends suffer under here in the United States. And I say that for a number of reasons, but the primary one is when you walk into a doctor's office in Canada, you are not assaulted by a billing firm that says what insurance covers you, and then have to fill out 70 forms. You present your HIP card, your health insurance plan card, and they take care of you, and they ask you what's wrong. They actually follow some of the treatises of what it is to be in the field of medicine. And I don't say that there aren't people in the medical establishment in the United States who desire the same thing at all. I would say we're preventing them from that. Through complication. It's a very simple thing to imagine that could exist, but any of us who have had health care meted out to us here in the United States, can you think of a time when you walked into a doctor's office and the first thing on their mind was how you were doing? And what was wrong with you specifically that brought you there? What you think about it? And how many of them said, oh, you're not eligible for this, or you got to deny that, or you're going to have to go see somebody else to get an approval. I think we all have the experience. I found out something really interesting about Canadian care about 10 or 11 years ago, in reading Steph Wolfhammer's Harvard study on single payer in the United States. Now, she's a doctor, and the findings of that study, they were redone, I believe, in 2004 to upgrade numbers, showed that Canadians spend per capita So this is disregarding the insured, uninsured. Per capita, they spend less than half of what we are already spending on healthcare. Now, I'm not going to mention the name, but when somebody stands up here or sits up here and talks about the cost of healthcare that they have on my back and on my workers' backs, because this is public money we're talking about in the United States, and they ask if it's feasible to have a single-payer system where everyone's covered. I say, let's not talk about that until you give me my $9,800 back, because that's what you steal from me as a taxpayer every year, or that's what you print out of the mint, you run through the Federal Reserve, so you can run all these programs, so you can then tell me who is not insured, and his workers who are not insured, whether we can afford a single payer or not. Well, it would seem fairly simple mathematics to me that if we have a medical system that's going to cost half based on 37 other industrialized nations using that system, what we are already spending per person, all with universal coverage, all of them with better health results than we have. The Canadian example is a great one to follow, because they're not even doing a great job of it. They're 30th to our 38th in ranking. We spend almost twice as much as they do. They live 3 years longer. Their obesity rate is half of ours. Their infant mortality is a third of what ours is. No one is denied or excluded. Are there waiting periods? Yes. But my friend Paul, who died 4 years ago because he lacked health insurance or care and screening for stomach cancer, and it was too late when we found it, would argue that his denial of care, when we were charging him all that public money for a healthcare system he's not allowed to participate in, when it was a death sentence. We want to talk about death lists. They exist here. Paul will tell you that, and he can't, because he's dead. That's pretty severe, but that's what working class is dealing with. What Luke just related to us all, this is the reality for those of us down here. The second level at which I have a unique perspective is as an employer. I'm expected to be able to pay people a fair living wage. I'm expected to provide benefits for people who work for me as an American employer. And I'm denied that by this unbelievable theft of resources we call the healthcare system or industry in this country, because it's crippling us economically. And it also is not a booster of the economy. When we are looking at, again, somewhere around 40 to 45 million Americans uncovered, and what we now know to be another 40 to 50 million who are undercovered, meaning they have insurance, but they're still open to medical bankruptcy, they're still open to deductibles and co-pays that are massive and ridiculous. They don't really know that until they have a long-term problem that is going to cost tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Finding that out can cost them their homes. Finding that out can cost them their jobs. Finding that out can cost them their educations too. As an employer, I would just say, well, let's figure out a simple mathematical answer for this. As a bread baker, as someone making bread, how much can I charge for a loaf of bread so that I can afford to pay for health insurance for all my workers? You know, and the answer would be, well, let's figure out what it's going to take to tack another $9,800 onto 30 people's salaries every year. Where am I going to come up with $280,000? And the answer really is simple. This is what people don't understand about Vermont. Or when they say, where is there an example? The example's already out there. It's Medicare. It's right here in the United States. We can already see it. It works. It has a 2.3% administrative cost. All right, now we move to the private HMO health insurance mechanism, and we're looking at between 26 and 32% of overhead, not healthcare delivery. Why are we spending that money? It's something we can't afford. It's something we're spending more money than any other country is, and we're denying access to a lot of people who are paying for it. It's just theft. We can swing that pendulum backwards, and the only way to do it is with dramatic legislation. The third way in which I'm unique is that I consider myself incredibly progressive. But the reality is, here's one where I very much tend to agree with those who would say they're conservative. I I just probably define conservative a little differently than they do. To me, that means I'm not going to waste a lot of things. I don't feel that that kind of access makes sense. And sometimes if you're going to make change, you do need to throw the baby out with the bathwater and start fresh. And in healthcare, this is a very simple example. The Democrats at the national level passed the ACA. And a lot of people in the middle class, a lot of my friends and families who aren't insured, look at me and my very negative anti-Obamacare stance and say, well, why do you feel that way? You know, he's got you guys health care. A, like we're a separate class of people, which I guess we are. And B, as if they're not collecting all of that $9,800 of the money I talked about off my back while asking me to accept that, you know, I should be paying additionally for-profit insurance. No, the truth of the matter is the ACA has done nothing for me except to demand that I buy a for-profit product that is demonstrably terrible. It's doing a terrible job. It does not work. Obamacare is saying you will buy this or we will penalize you. What is it done to make it more affordable? And the answer is nothing. And in fact, the subsidized health insurance my son had through Fidelis is no longer available to him because I'm wealthy, according to the new rules. Well, that's great. Thanks a lot. So while we're bankrupting ourselves, paying for the college education for the child, you're going to remove the health care you were teasing us with to begin with. That we already paid for. This is ours. We pay money for it. When we want to talk about, as Mr. Ray was pointing out earlier, other people's money, health care is the biggest economic scam that is going on at the moment in this country. And we know that the federal government is not going to pass HR 676 tomorrow or anytime soon. They politically get rid of anyone who passes it. Period. So all I can say is kudos and bravo to those of you who are backing the single payer bill in New York State. New York is more than big enough, and we have the fortitude, and I believe the principle to go ahead and pass the single payer healthcare bill here in New York. And on an anecdotal level, I will leave you with these thoughts that I ran for Congress last year. And I didn't run for Congress because I wanted to, because I'm cynical enough to understand what that process is in the United States of America. It's which millionaire you want to pretend it represents you. I don't want either of them. I want a worker to represent me. I want somebody who gets it, who is common sense and isn't a thief. So I'll run. I decided, because it doesn't look like anyone else is going to. I had a great time. One of the things I learned was something I already know, but that a lot of other people don't. I live in a large Republican district, and over again, I would have conversations with Republicans and libertarians and conservatives, people who value the Constitution over everything else in the world. We could have fervent disagreement about a number of things. Healthcare was one that surprised me. I could talk to them about socialized medicine in this structure or framework. You're against socialized medicine. Yes. Well, you know, are you against Medicare? Is the question a lot of us who would consider ourselves a little more progressive would ask these people, are you willing to turn it down when you become eligible? The answer gets a little higher, you do that. But there's another answer beyond that, which is, did you know that the United States is spending $9,800 per person in health care today, right now, of public money? And are you okay with that? And do you want the single payer system to demonstrably is not going to cost more than $5,000 per person? So wouldn't you rather, even if you don't like socialized medicine, wouldn't you rather we were all covered and all the efficiencies we know exist, like removing workers' comp from the healthcare fiasco, like not having a separate Medicare system? All of us in the same boat. Doesn't that make sense? It will automatically reduce all those costs dramatically. Does it make sense to reduce the theft? Every conservative said, well, yeah, of course it does. And a lot of them are actually enthusiastic supporters of a single payer system, but not the ACA. And that tells me something about where New York State voters are at. And it begs the question or the statement, you know, can I say to an assembly member or a senator that we need to know that there is a quiet majority on board with this? It's not just a 60 to 70% or survey nationally who get it. That single-payer mathematics is the only system that does make sense. It's why every other industrialized nation uses it. But we're not going to have it federally until some great state steps up. Please continue to be those people. And please continue to fight for it. Those of us who work for we need you to do that. And I thank you for doing that. So. No, he's got lunch.
That's half a lunch.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for running and diving into the